But here's the thing, frickin' banjo and no fanfare. This is all good for us if we don't lose our minds like banjo. Banjo has lost his mind. It's pissing me off. If they're lying, I'm lying.
But when you deceive, you're actually trying very hard to set things up in such a way to ensure or guarantee as much as possible that the truth will not be discovered.
Was 24-hour sun in Antarctica acted? Quick and summary video that questions the veracity of the footage at the Union Glacier base. The first question is, why did the channel The Final Experiment remove all the videos it had posted of Antarctica from its channel? Why it would have been the first time that flight radar followed the flight route from Punta Arenas to the Union Glacier base, where over 100 people have been flying for the marathon for 10 years. Why are all the shots of the interviewees taken from a fixed camera like the astronauts do on the alleged ISS? Why is there this telephoto lens that should also move up and down in addition to turning to follow the sun when you only show a video, this one, where you can see the shadow of this mountain, where the other shadows are dubious, and if we use filters, you can clearly see the break between a background and the foreground. Why don't you see anyone go beyond this point?
For somebody like me and like you, we've never been in the South.
Never been in the South.
Never been in the South. Never been in the South. Never been in the South.
I know them. I've met them. I've hung out with them. I consider them good friends.
So at least we know we have two solid guys.
All right, my friends. Hope you guys are doing fine today. Welcome to the show. I appreciate all of you being here today. So many good people. Let me start here. Couple shout outs, Whistleblower. How are you, brother, in Texas? I know they are preparing for the zombie apocalypse in Texas. Hi, Troy. How are you, brother? Nice to see you here. So many good people. Waco, Texas is in the house too. My dear friend and sister in Christ, Yuko from Kyoto. So nice to see you here, Yuko. Hello, I can't read it, but welcome to the show. Thank you so much. Amanda, how are you? And another day, another psyop. It's extremely depressing every time you wake up and you see another psyop, going on. So yes, Tomislav, I'm aware of the whole situation there on the dining, the correspondence dining. It's just another psyop, I mean, don't they get tired of it? That's why I really believe we are in Satan's little season, because, the deception goes far and wide everywhere. So, Southern California, Matthew Akim, welcome to the show. There's no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I'm saying that. I've been saying this since these guys just started with this whole, I almost feel sorry, but I don't. And I almost feel sorry for Witsit. I know he's back. He's trying to make his way back. And, like that, I told you so. I told him so. He came up with, Jaron's my best friend. I know the guy. I hung up with him, blah, blah, blah. The guy was a Glober. If you see, that's Jaron's old logo. He claimed that it was a flat earth map, but it's a globe, because now he switched it to this one. Why isn't he using now this flat earth map here? Why, didn't he just cross this old one he used, because it was a globe the whole time. It was a globe the whole time. And you can see now David Wise is wearing a T-shirt with the same globe. Just like you see, what's his name again? Mike Sargent. He still has a globe there on his logo. So these guys control the position from the beginning. Deceivers deceived all of us. All right, guys, we have a good show for today. I have Blam. Alabama is in the house. Alabama, sweet home Alabama. A special place for me. I spent many years there. My 2 daughters were born. I call them Dixies. Dixieland. They are from Dixieland. Yeah. So welcome to the show. So let's get started. We have a good show today. I want to talk about several things. And let's go to my favorite Bible verse, of course. God, Hebrews 1 and 2, God at sundry times and in divers manners, spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things. Last days he was talking about the days after Jesus was crucified and the gospel was being preached. The temple was still standing. It was before the destruction of the temple. And those were the last days, the last generation that Jesus spoke about it. That generation would see someone alive in that generation would see the Son of Man come in the clouds. So, that's the Bible verse for the day, for every Sunday. So another day, another psyop, In North Korea, people are forced to listen to propaganda. But in America, they do it so willingly, Not only in America, Brazil is the same thing, But in places like in the UK, they even pay for it. So I'm so sorry for my brothers and sisters in England, in UK, in Scotland. You gotta pay for that. But in Japan, it's kind of the same. We have a TV station here called NHK, and they force people into paying their subscription. And they even are taking people to court now for not paying it. So I wonder if my name will be there because I don't pay that. I don't watch, So, but sometimes you gotta pay for being brainwashed. You pay the government to brainwash you. This is also news about Japan. Watch out, total national surveillance. Japan's version of the CIA is coming. National Intelligence Agency Establishment Bill. The Diet passed the bill on the House of Representatives and was sent to the House of Councilors. So yes, times are changing. Japan was always great in about we had some freedom of speech here, but things seems to be changing. So who knows what's gonna be next, And this is what I was talking about, my friends there in Texas. You guys are preparing for the zombie apocalypse, yeah? So if you go to your DMV, see their zombie attack, are you prepared? Things that was a joke. We watched movies in the past. I remember back in the days I watched that movie about the living dead, people coming back from the dead, attacking people, eating brains. So that's what we're having right now, this zombie attack. So I guess if you go to your local DMV, gonna get your driver's license or any city hall, you find those flyers there. You got to be preparing for the zombie apocalypse. But what's going on, guys? I think the people who took they took that thing. A lot of them are going nuts. They're going nuts. The amount of violence going on. I watch videos from Brazil, and even here in Japan, somebody's posting videos of things that are going on that was not normal. So I think whatever bots they had in the jab, they are activating slowly, and people are going nuts. A lot of violence. People are really like going crazy. So let's talk about this. One more thing before we start talking about David Wilcock. One shout out to my good friend in Italy. And also, it will be something. Still talking about Artemis, First of all, the country that's the greatest ally is promoting the biggest LGBTQ festival ever in the Middle East near the site of Sodom. That was April 22nd, so right there, the greatest ally promoting this largest or biggest LGBTQ festival ever, in the site near Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, so not the chosen people. So shout out to my good friend in Italy, Gina Tonelli. So this is about the Artemis 2. This is the shielding, according to NASA, that withstood temperature of 2,800 degrees Celsius, almost 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And you see here, she's attaching, but you can see these places here, metal, right? You see those hatches there, Now the temperature of those tiles supposed to withstand 2,800 degrees Celsius, which is hotter. It's twice as hot as lava, you know. But the titanium that the shield is made only withstand, 1,600 degrees Celsius, about 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, so almost twice the amount, So this thing didn't melt. And I wonder if they glue it, those tiles, because they glue it. I did watch the interview. They glue these tiles there. What kind of glue would stood, the temperature of 5,000 degrees, Fahrenheit. So a lot of things there that doesn't really add up. But I want to go a couple of things here before we go talking about. I want you to pay attention to this. This is when they were opening the hatch, and you see all that stuff withstood the temperature of 5,000 degrees. But pay attention, why they spent $100 billion in this. Maybe you are not paying attention, but look at this app. Pay attention, you're gonna see it. Why? Okay, see there? You might have noticed. If you're not, I'm gonna freeze the frame. All right, pay attention. It's coming right there. Is this the reason behind spending $100 billion? You see the helmet? Let me zoom in. Not flat. So is that why they spent all these $100 billion? Is Artemis is just trying to, contain flat Earth from spreading, and that's what it's all about. This whole, charade there. This whole thing. It's mostly to try to stop flat Earth from spreading. Whole bunch of actors. They just came out of this capsule, which probably, I don't know what kind of battery, lasted 10 days in space. And they, keeping them warm and cold, you know, charging, all that stuff, air conditioner, air, filtrating air, all that stuff must be like amazing. Shout out to Flat Earth Deplorable for this video here. This is from this Artemis, just like I play. That's why I like to play that intro with all the NASA fails. See right there? Morphing into going through. That's the ZGI, the doll, the plush doll they had. And means they had no delay. He was talking just like no delay. But look like it just appears right behind her. Look there. See? Just like in the other scene with the lady, the Italian astronaut. So you see just like appear out of nowhere. So you can see that what they had there is not really a physical doll. It's just augmented uh, reality. I should include that in the opening, you know, just appearing out of nowhere. So that's Artemis 2, another Hollywood movie, and they all deserve their star in, Hollywood sidewalk. They probably will have their star there pretty soon. Okay, let me check the chat just a few minutes before we talk about David Wilcox. So hello everyone who is joining me. I guess you guys are hearing me okay. So let me check here. Lots of compelled speech in Canada. All right, have you heard of the group from NASA? I haven't heard about this one. A lot of Masonic symbols. Oh, of course. Okay, yeah, Alabama, the beautiful, beautiful Alabama, beautiful, beautiful. So let's go ahead and talk about this whole thing about David Wilcock. Now, I kind of feel sorry. I don't know, I went through the script, the phone calls and all that stuff. Yeah, sorry guys. Let me at this stage. So I went over this lady on TikTok. She played the script, the phone calls. He calling 911. So talking about those 11 people who are missing, they say now at 15, and we know this whole ancient aliens, big thing pushing the alien agenda, and these astronauts, all actors. We don't even know if those scientists are even scientists or more actors. If they are in Valhalla, along with Charlie Kirk and others, they fake their own death. We don't know. I don't know. These are my opinions. Might be a bunch of actors as well. I feel a bit sorry for David Wilcock. I don't know if he's alive or if he's really dead. I don't know. He's an actor. But he might have been a victim of the MK Ultra. Shout out to my friend Jerry Miller. He has a movie about MK Ultra. I talked about this movie before. He also displays the Gleason's map on his movie. I'll play the trailer here sometime. So I saw a video of David Wilcock talking. It seems like he was a victim of some sort of MK Ultra. But regardless, about 10 years ago, he came out against Flat Earth. So this guy, Mike Knight, he had a channel on YouTube. It was taken down, but he did a short video on him. So we don't know if David Wilcock was, this post on X says David Wilcock was a Freemason. Nobody gets on History Channel unless you are part of the Jesuit Brotherhood or some member of the secret society. You can see here his pose is just like this Masonic penalty sign here. So many of them, you see this actor here, another actor. So many actors posing like that, So many actors, even the guy here from The Simpsons, all actors, all the same pose. I don't know, I don't want to be disrespectful in case he really passed away. I feel sorry for his family, our condolences. If he took his own life, he might have been depressed because, space is fake. Somebody who worked his whole life for something, and then he saw like Artemis, the whole thing, they didn't go anywhere but the studio. So we don't know what was in his head, That's the thing, there is a movie. This movie is very interesting. It was made in the 30s. It's called Occult Forces. It's a French movie. If you want to watch, you gotta read the subtitles in English. And it's a very interesting movie. This guy here is a politician, French politician. And he was invited to join the lodge, his local lodge. And his wife didn't want him to do it. Told him, no, don't do it, don't join. But he didn't listen to her. He joined the lodge and became a Freemason, all that stuff. And at the end of the movie, he was working against his own country because the brotherhood is an international brotherhood. They don't benefit the country or the politician. It's an international organization. They don't look over the interest of the nation. They look at the international, scenery. So at the end of the movie, he realized that he betrayed his own country by joining this organization. So some people who join some organizations, they later find out, when he found out, it was too late. The people even made fun of him because it was already too late. There was no turning back. He had sold his country out. So some people realize this late in life, So it might be one of the reasons that, some people might want to take his or her own life, So I want you to listen to this, right? Let's listen to this short video first.
I saw contingency plans called Majestic. Contingency plans were to, first place, a contingency is a plan that can be implemented if certain things occur. And the certain things that would have tripped this contingency plan are, number one, to the truth. So they have to implement this to get them steered off the track. Or number two, we don't want to tell the public the truth about the alien presence, but there's so much alien activity occurring that the public is on the verge of finding out anyway. Let's tell them this story so that it doesn't cause consequences that we don't want. And that plan was called Majestic. I was in a bookstore one time. I'd never seen UFO magazine. Didn't even know it existed. In fact, I didn't even know that there was a UFO culture in the world of people who study UFOs or worship UFOs or have little UFO meetings. I had no idea that was occurring. I was in a bookstore one time and I was looking at the magazine rack. I'm an avid reader and I'm always in bookstores. And this one day I saw a magazine just popped right out at me, that's UFO. And I picked it up and I looked inside and here is Majestic. All right there. And even the people who had been named to implement the plan were the ones who were actually implementing it. William Moore, Stanton Friedman. I'd never heard of Jamie Chandray, but he was named, and they had brought out a supposed genuine document called the Eisenhower Briefing Document, which in reality is a fraudulent document. It's a fake, and it was created to implement the plan Majestic to either indoctrinate the public on what the government wants the public to perceive as happening, or to steer researchers away from the truth, or both.
So this wasn't revealing the plan of Majestic, but it was actually implementing the plan.
Implementing the plan against the public. It was a psychological operation against the public.
So this is what you saw. Right.
So immediately my head began to spin around, and I began to think, God, I've got to tell people that they're being manipulated. This is a lie. And it really, if the public were using their own intellect, they would know that it was a lie. The executive order quoted for this document was in 92,000 something. I believe it was 92447, which is 92,447, and it was supposedly written by Truman. But Truman never wrote an executive order higher than 9,000. I mean, even today, there's no executive order with the number 92,000 on it. They've been consecutive since the beginning.
So it was clearly fraudulent.
All right, so he was talking about this project Majestic because the top 12, the Majestic top 12 military leaders at the time, that goes back to time of Roswell. So this PSYOP, this whole alien agenda, That's why even Von Braun was brought from, Germany, 1940s, something like that, to work in this project, and he was selected. And he already knew this whole thing was to bring this fake alien invasion or the Project Blue Beam. So this guy, Victoria was saying here, Victoria, you haven't heard from him. Well, he passed last week. Supposedly he shot himself in the head, and he took his own life. So I don't know if that's staged or it's real or not. But I want to bring this up because he came out against Flat Earth a couple years ago. And this guy, Mark Knight or Wakey Wakey, he did a video, but they took it down. So I have the video, and I'm going to add this video here. I'm going to play and talk about it. Let me just find the video here. Desktop. Right here. This one. So as I play, I'm going to pause
because I've
so
got
we
this
can
branding out there
talk
from being
about. Okay. So that's Dave the Wilcock talking about Flat Earth. I was back, I believe, in 2015, 16. I will play and talk about what he's saying here.
on Ancient Aliens and having the 2 shows on Gaia that are weekly shows, etc., etc. Look, this flat Earth thing is a f***ing joke. Excuse my French. There is no flat Earth.
So Wilcock is a bit late to the party, so I wonder where he's been. But we all know he's been on Gaia Shill TV.
All right, so that was the voice of Mark Knight. Okay, he did this video several years ago when he was, countered the information that David Wilcock was saying. So yeah, David Wilcock, big name in History Channel, Ancient Aliens. When I watched the very first 3 weeks, I only watched like the very first 3 seasons. Like I wouldn't miss, every week I would watch. I think it was Wednesdays night, US. And I liked the guy back then as I liked the show. But when I realized Earth is flat, and these guys must know because big money, hired by History Channel, and those shows were distributed all over, like Brazil, in Spanish, in Portuguese, many countries having this show. So he came out against Flat Earth,
If you walk from one side of the Earth to the other, or you sail in a sailboat, you're going to go back to where you started. Okay, you're not going to fall off the edge.
So pretty silly of him saying that because that's how we navigate on the flat Earth. And nobody falls off the edge because there's no way one can even get to the edge below 60 parallel south without the proper authorization. And that's how you navigate, around the Earth.
And I'm sorry, but this whole thing is a deliberately designed con from the NSA groups in order that certain individuals in our community could be lured in by a narrative that's going to make them look absolutely troglodyte ridiculous to everybody else in our community who may be an awakening person to the truth.
All right, Satan has been deceiving people for generations. And David Wilcock helped this deception, with this whole alien agenda that he pushed, Ball Earth, and that's part of the whole deception that came along the Little Caesar, in my opinion, because it all started in the 1500s, Ball Earth, and then all the isms that came along. So he rejected flat Earth to believe in aliens and space, and believes, can't read it, sorry guys, let me have my glasses on. So believes in places he's never been, rejects where he is. So he rejects the the evidence of a flat horizon, non-moving, a stationary Earth, but believes and pushes something that he cannot see, he cannot prove. No?
Look, we can go all the way back to Aristarchus and his simple depictions of the roundness of the Earth using, stuff like a sextant.
All right, the sextant, you need a flat baseline to measure to get, the elevation angles. You need the flat horizon. That's why, as I explained to you guys several times, the rate of descent or the top of descent from the Concorde down to any other airplane, you must consider flat baseline to get the proper rate of descent, the timing, the distance you need. You need to consider flat, non-rotating Earth. There's no way you can do it on a ball Earth that's spinning. There's no way. That's how you get elevation angles. You must consider. That's why they call the equatorial plane. They consider now Earth to be flat. They cut the ball Earth in half, and the whole equator becomes a big plane, and that's how they get their elevation angles.
And we can go into things like the Coriolis effect and the fact that when you fire a cannon that you have to bend the target from where you think it would go because the cannon's actually going to spin in the air based on the rotation of the round Earth.
All right, so that's a map there showing how Amelia Earhart tried to fly all around the Earth. She followed the equator. So imagine he's talking about the Coriolis effect because the Earth is spinning. She started from California, San Francisco, towards the east. She kept going towards the east. Imagine if the Earth was spinning under her airplane, she would never catch up to the cities that was spinning under her airplane. Because if the Earth is spinning under a bullet, it's logical it's also spinning under the airplane. As I played the video here of both Wolfie 6020 saying that he had to adjust his aircraft because the Earth was spinning under it. And so did the mentor pilot, who says that when the plane is airborne, Earth is spinning under it. So, I can even play those videos again here later.
And the thing that I find most ridiculous is probably a lot of the people that are putting this stuff out, the videos themselves are actually run by the government. They're made by government agents. And then the people who appear to be supporting those videos, they also are government agents. None of this stuff is true. You look at the moon, you can see it's a ball and that it's rotating.
All right, before we talk about the moon, he says that people who are following flat Earth government agents. Well, we have in Brazil maybe 20% of the population now are flat earthers. So in Brazil, we have like 300 million people. So 20% is a lot. It's like 12, almost 10 million people. No, 11 million. We had 11 million people back in 2017. Now we have 20 million people now, flat earthers in Brazil. Okay. And that's almost like 8% of the population, because I don't think we have 300 million people yet. Not sure. But anyway, imagine all those people being on the payroll. That's a lot, 20 million people. And I heard that around 10% of the population in the US are now flat earthers. That's another 30 million people right there. So not sure if he's right about that. And the moon, we see the difference between a ball and the moon. The moon seems to be a flat disk, not a ball. We can see the moon, a ball, when it's reflecting light. And that's not how the moon behaves. The moon seems to be a flat disc, not really a ball.
For God's sake, don't get.
So I don't know. I got frozen there. I don't know he won't play anymore, but that was his position. He came out against Flat Earth about 15 years ago, and being paid, being several stations, history, and on cable TV. He had his own show, Gaia, and another one, Disclosure. Big guy pushing this whole alien agenda. So he might have realized that this whole thing is fake. That Artemis proved that there's no way they cannot go to the moon. They never went, and they cannot go. Thanks for the number on the population here, brother. 216. So we about about 10% of the population in Brazil, 20 million, calculated to be flat earthers now. Thanks for the numbers. So this, I feel a bit sorry if he really took his life. We don't know the reason. The audio that I heard, someone played on TikTok, he called 911. And another audio he did before, seems like he was suffering some sort of a MK Ultra. He was coming out of MK Ultra. So he probably was, put into this situation. I don't know. It's very hard to know, especially being on the show, being like somebody said, it's impossible for you to be on History Channel and not be connected to the club. Just like when MTV, I didn't know MTV really means Masonic TV. And it turned out that many of those presenters that these DJs or VJs at the time, members of the club. So I feel sorry if he really took his life, and I don't know if he did it or not. Perhaps if he had understood or came out as a flat earther back in 2015, instead of pursuing this fake globe and alien agenda stuff, he might still be around today, So I'm going to play the first song for today. We will be back for this. Since we're talking about PSYOPs, I have a new version of the TFE song. It's a little bit shorter. Trying to correct it because since I use free Suno, it seems like every other word they mispronounce. So I tried about 12 times, 12 different songs to see if the lyrics was right, because even though I write correctly, they mispronounce some words. But this is the new version. All right, let's enjoy it.
I'm curious about this TFE. It all started in the fall of 2023. This Colorado guy made a video among the bushes saying he was gonna put flat earth back to bed. And this new idea forward he pushes. He had secret phone calls with a guy named David Lace about a Dartic Arabica place as cold as ice. He then went to this YouTube live stream staring Duran Campanella, a guy who has some shady Bitcoin business with Weiss, his good fella. It was then early 2024. The story becomes even shadier than it was before. It turned out this guy's name was Pastor Will Duffy from Colorado. I'd say he worked with Bob and Yard, who wanted to send flat earthers to space. Jared, who says he hates Jesus, said he Americans awards. David Weiss went to several live stream defending TFE, Duran, and Austin as a team. We sacked it as TFE's lawyer defending Austin on Dustin Nemo's show. We saw Steph defended Jonathan Muradande on TikTok with another channels I don't know. Weiss made several videos defending his buddies and TFE. Weiss said Duran was the best flat earther anyone could see. But Duran had already showed his colors in Behind the Curve. He found Earth's curvature in 400 yards. Yeah, he had the nerve. Weiss and Duran were good friends, as close as carrots and peas. They were 24 hours together for 10 years straight, as close as one can be. From Mondays to Sundays on YouTube, Rumble, Rockfin, and Odyssey. Controlled opposition, all platforms culminating with TFE. Duran went to Bro Sanchez's YouTube show not long ago, saying Earth was a bigger ball and on top was flat like a Home Depot. David Weiss said the same lines on a different stream. He said Earth was a bigger ball, if you know what I mean. Duran and Austin went to Amazon Studio 15. We know that because they couldn't provide an ad of a midnight live stream. Austin said the sun was dancing in the sky, while an America passport stamp neither one of them could provide. Duran didn't even know how to position his compass anywhere. He held it upside down, said there were 100 people at the camp, then he said only 10 people were there. On TikTok Live, he said he had never been in the South. NASA shills, no doubt about infiltrators since 2015, trying to control the flat earth movement, controlling us all from within. And so the story ends, these shills expose themselves for everyone to see. An entity, central casting actors working with Will Buffy and his TFE. Central casting TFE. Shills exposing themselves for the whole world to see. Central casting TFE. Shills exposing themselves for the whole world to see. Central casting TFE. Shills exposing themselves for the whole world to see. Central casting TFE. Shills exposing themselves for the whole world to see.
All right, that's a new version. Same lyrics because it's a true story. It's based on a true story anyway. Just changed the song, makes it a little bit shorter. MTV, yes, building was a Masonic building. Was, yeah, I found out that later, Masonic and the people involved, all Freemasons. Another comment here, I don't flat Earth. Welcome to the show, brother. The God believer exactly is, yeah, they are not critical thinker at all. Shout out to true Christians. So the shields who control the flat topic do indeed make flat Earth look ridiculous. Yeah, when I tried to search for new flat Earth videos last night. It's depressing because all you see is 90% are globe shields, mocking, and then you see some flat Earths. Like you see David Wise with his globe T-shirt. So, and Ron Hubbard, Walt Disney, Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons. Yeah, all satanic people involved in NASA. You know, so it is a spiritual war. This is a spiritual war, and that leads us to the little season topic. We should display this one more time because I haven't finished. So David Wilcock, his good pal, his good friend from the show, Zachariah is teaching right there. See, he's in a some sort of Masonic ceremony. Right there, Zachariah is teaching, the translator, and ended up that his translations were all wrong. You know, I've seen a couple of videos. See there, his secret handshake with the other guy, Jordan Maxwell. So they are infiltrators and being around. It's the totally opposite to what David Wilcock saying. He was saying that flat Earth is NSA. No, these guys are NSA. These guys are the CIA or whatever. Since the 50s and 60s and 70s, they've been pushing. This is another one, Roger Stone right there. His bodies, all displaying the 666. So, guys, we do live in Satan's little season. There's no other way to put it. We do live in Satan's little season. This map here of the United Nations, and we have all the divisions. If you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I number them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then you go 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, then you go 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 right in the middle. So I was listening to this lady in Brazil. She was explaining about, spiritual wars and stuff like that. And she was saying like how some of the regions are dominated or ruled by principalities, So you can see here North America has one principality here, maybe this 25 right there. In South America, you got like 24 and 16, And she was saying like, yeah, it's ruled by principalities. So perhaps those 33 means that 33% of the angels. So they divided the whole earth in 33 parts, and 1% of the angels rule each part, and that's more of a thought, that's what I think. Perhaps that's how it is. So let me see if there's any comment here. So yeah, I do feel sorry about this whole David Wilcock. I don't know if he really took his life or not, but if he had came out as a flat earth baby in 2015-16, he would not end up, of course, the guy was being offered contracts here, like History Channel, Ancient Aliens, lots of money. Was it worth? I don't know if it was, just like Jaron Campanella. I mean, Jaron Campanella was a shield from the get-go, from the beginning. But I wonder, like, with it, was it worth it for the guy? I don't think it was. So let's move on to the topic of the little season right now and why this thing is important. So I enjoy this channel here. He puts out some short videos. It's called Dutch Peasant. He makes really like 5 minutes or 6 minutes. And he did a video exactly telling what I have been saying. All those guys preaching the last, Jesus is coming back, all that stuff. More deception, all globe earthers, all those pastors. I don't know what a flat earther will believe these pastors anyway. They rejected Genesis. Some of them even believe in the Big Bang. And you guys are following their last, whatever they call the eschatology, their eschatology. So let's listen to this video here and talk about it. This one right here. Right? Very interesting video.
Rapture any moment. It's all over the internet. David Jeremiah, with 800,000 subs, calls out that it could happen at any moment. Benny Hinn, with 800,000 subs, says, "This is the truth. God told me about rapture. Every human must know to get ready." John Bever, with 500,000 subs, proclaims, "We won't all die." Daniel Maritz, with over 1 million subs, calls out, "The end?" Is that the heliocentric model? Joyce Meyer, with 2 million subs, says, "It's urgent. Warning to the church. The rapture is near and time is running out." Joshua Selman, with 2 million subs, asks, "Are you prepared for the rapture?" John Hagee, Hachi, with over 1 million subs, "The end of days." Uh-oh. Millions of subscribers follow futurism. Everybody believes it, so it must be true. I was born into this. For 57 years I heard...
All right, let me pause that for a minute. Yeah, because we were born into that, it must be true. No, it means that the deception runs, longer than we are led to believe, And it's in the 1500s, and especially in the 1800s, all those denominations that's brought out in the 1800s, spreading all. And when you look at like the founder of this denomination was a Freemason, then the founder of the other denomination was a Freemason. So, it's a pool of lies. And now those pastors, 2 million subscribers, 3 million subscribers, 1 million pushing, they even have the Bow Earth right there, as he showed. Same thing in Brazil, all the big pastors. I'm going to show you, let's finish this video here. I'll show you more.
Heard the same story. Christ would return any moment. It had to be true. Every pastor on the earth sang the same song. I watched thousands of sermons on the internet. I read books about it. And then, after 57 years, I read the Word about it. I did my own research. I wanted to verify the narrative. And the truth was shocking.
Exactly, guys. We're being led like in Sunday school or church. Oh, this book about the end of times. I gotta read this author about the end of times, and then we read. And I used to buy those charts that was like 4 meters long, And this is what's going on. It's not. When you look at New Testament, when Jesus said, these things must happen in this generation, and he was talking about his generation because the temple was right there. He was saying things before the temple was destroyed, So it was not, those things were not written to us.
The Word prophesied that Jesus would return while his disciples would still be alive on earth. Even the gospel was preached in the world. This could not happen in our future. Why do the pastors claim a future second coming of Christ? The answer is short and shocking. The pastors have been educated. The church teaches that Christ would return in our future. However,
so I want to make a point there, just like the Bulwark, what do they say? My brothers and sisters, if you are still in this dispensationalism thing, you got to come out of that. Because what do Globers say? The same thing, you need to go back to school. That's what we hear all the time. This guy skipped school. He didn't go to school. Because he's not educated. I'll take the physics class or whatever. So the same thing, when we talk about little sins, you got to study this pastor, you got to read this book. You need to be educated in the dispensationalism. Same thing, why don't you get the Bible and read what the Bible says?
They do not base this dogma on the Bible, but on their academic studies. Their studies teach about church history in general and the manuscripts of the church fathers in the 1st and 2nd century. The historic documents are the foundation of the dogma that Christ did not return in the past. However, independent research revealed that such documents do not exist at all. They are all fabricated after the 15th century. All consensus history has been fabricated and rewritten as an ongoing process. Further research has revealed that previous to the 16th century, the church believed that Christ had returned in their past. The 1000-year reign occurred in the first millennium AD. The Christians knew that the devil had been loosed in their past. There simply exist too many historic records reciting the fulfillment of the prophecies in the Bible. The abomination.
Let me pause there for a minute. This lady, you can do it yourself. You can use Grok or OpenAI, anything, and ask. Just like when we ask, I ask ChatGPT all the time. I create a model of the universe according to the Bible, and I have several of them showing a flat Earth, the sun and the moon enclosed in a dome. I collect some of those images because sometimes they come up different from the others. But that's how the OpenAI describes the Earth according to the Bible as a flat, non-rotating Earth. So this ask OpenAI to confirm on the Geneva Bible if Jesus returned already or not using the Geneva Bible. It will give you the answer that yes, Jesus returned in around 70 AD, based on the Geneva Bible. So it's another thing that we talk about today about the changing of the Masoretic text and all that stuff. So let's finish this video.
The age of desolation was fulfilled. Christ's return in the sky for everybody to see was fulfilled. The clouds of angels had been seen by many. The recovering of the remnants of God's people occurred in the 2nd century AD. If the Bible is true, Christ returned around 80 AD, just like he prophesied. A few hundred years ago, the holy city, New Jerusalem, was on earth. Most kingdoms worshipped the King of Kings. Then the devil was loosed out of prison. 6 pillars of deception spread the world. The loosing of the devil with his accomplices started off a sequence of events during the demonic renaissance. The world was conquered and all civilizations were destroyed, resulting in a worldwide slave trade. The Great City Fires destroyed all old documents. Secret societies took over the governments. Humanism thronged Christianity. The monasteries were dissolved. Apostolic documents were destroyed and replaced by fabrications. Futurism and dispensationalism rose. America was liberated by the devil. The world was reset. Adults were disposed of in lunatic asylums. The newborns were seized and brought up in incubator centers for display and to be sold for pennies. The children were displaced in orphan trains, re-educated and sold as slaves to work on farms and in factories. History, heliocentrism, encyclopedia, chronicles were written by the humanists, erasing all theistic and apostolic events. The Dark Ages were fabricated to erase the 1000-year reign. The demonic conquest of the world was conveniently covered up in the new history. God has taken away our part of the holy city because of the false teachings of the church. The only way that the nations will experience the reign of God walking in his light is by keeping his commandments. Unfortunately, both the church and the governments do not qualify and are therefore living in outer darkness, without the light of God outside the gates. When the church and the nations stop lying and bring the glory and order into the city of God will reappear and the earth will be restored and we will walk again in the light of God.
Alright, that was a great video. And a lot of the history that they teach in seminars, all made up stuff. How can you talk about the church fathers when we don't have any of those documents? As a matter of fact, I was trying to play this video several times and I couldn't find it. I finally found it. You see here, Josh McDowell is that book called More Than a Carpenter. He's the author of that book. Great book. I have it. I was going to get it and display here somewhere there in my library. It's called More Than a Carpenter. So he became a Christian. He was a lawyer, and he tried to debunk Christ's resurrection, and he couldn't. So he became a Christian. And after that, he became an archaeologist, and that's what he has to say right here.
For example, with Pliny the Younger, for the time he wrote, to the closest copy, 750 years. Caesar and the Gallic Wars, 950 years from the original to the closest copy. Plato, 1,300 years. Aristotle wrote his Poetics around 343 BC. And even most classical professors at university don't know this. The closest copy is 1100 AD. 1,400 years separates. Euripides, 1,500 years. Catullus, 1,600 years. Men and women, when it comes to the scriptures, we go back within 50 years. And here's a diagram compared to other things of history.
So you saw the diagram there. Many of those books, and when people quote, "Oh, these church fathers," maybe he never existed. You know, it was created in the 1500s. And remember, in the 1500s, what did the Jesuits do? They started sailing all over the earth. Every country. They went to every country. Even in the Amazon. They were there in the Amazon. You know, they were everywhere. Philippines, Japan, you know, what were they doing? They were taking sacred books and maps and taking back to Rome. That's what they did. I watched it. This guy, there used to be a strong, there is still this strong Christian community in India, in a region called Goa. So when the Portuguese arrived, they found Christians there, and they were surprised. And they were more like the Orthodox Christians. They followed the Syriac, you know, Greek Orthodox creed, you know, when they arrived there in the 1500s. And they had several books and maps. What did the Portuguese do? We want to take this to the Pope. And they took from them. And the video today, I was watching not long ago, the Indian priest was saying, we want those documents back. They had been trying for several years to get them back from the Vatican. But it's going to be impossible. Of course, the Pope will not give that back to them. But they had several manuscripts and versions of the Bible that dates back, according to them, to 70 AD, when Christians fled, you know, the region, because they knew the temple was going to be destroyed, so they fled to other lands. You know, they arrived in India, and they established their Christian community there. But the Jesuits went everywhere, destroying those documents and stealing some of them, taking to Rome, you know. So you cannot rely on those teachings. And if it's being pushed today, especially my seminars, the Protestant seminars that are full of Freemasons, you know. I mean, I feel really it's hard for me, you know, because I I like the Baptist Church, but we need to understand that this stuff is real, the deception is real, and runs deep, you know, really, really deep. So I want to share a video here with you guys. You have to watch. First of all, shout out to my good friend and brother in Christ, Rick Hinckley. He's been here with me. He shared a very good video with me this week. It's called this one right here. Jesus never called God Yahweh. The Hebrew Kabbalah name game, full documentary. This is the best video about scriptures, about the Masoretic text, how the Masoretic text is corrupt. You know, so I'm going to share this video here in the chat, guys. It's a must. If you are a Christian, you need to understand that stuff. So Jesus is his name. I'm just going to write here. Because all those names, you know, all those names, Yahuwah, Yeshua, whatever, it all comes from the Kabbalah. You know, it all comes from the Kabbalah, and they want to. No, not this one. Sorry. They remove from studio. So this stuff all comes from the Kabbalah, you know. And he goes on. He explains. He goes deep. You know, this guy here, very interesting video, and he shows like how these names they come from the, you know, Kabbalah and Jewish texts and everything. So you got to be very careful when the people, if the world is pushing other name other the name Jesus Christ, you got to be careful. Why are they replacing all these guys here? Let me see if I can find the part of the, because I spoke about this. What's his name again? It's a rabbi. He's always on the CBN show. Forgot his name. He's always there. Jonathan Kahn, Jonathan something. I forgot his name. It's a rabbi. He's always, I don't know, but watch it. It's a long video, 2 hours, but it's worth it. You know, it's worth. So shout out to Rick for sharing this video with me. And I want to share with you another website. This one here, great website. I played a song last week about the Artemis, and my friend Yuko sent me a video, and I'm going to play the song today. Well, it's loading. So I'll share when loads. Okay, the internet is kind of slow today. Internet's terrible. So guys, must be careful. You know, like why are they want to replace the name of Jesus as being the name of Jesus for, you know? As a matter of fact, you know, I've been interested in these coins lately. Again, thanks to Rick. Rick, you know, has explained me a lot about silver, gold, all that stuff. So there's this coin. It's a very old coin from the time of the Byzantine Empire. You know, it's a coin that depicts Jesus Christ. So I asked ChatGPT if I were to mint such a coin today in English with everything in English, if they could give me, if he could give me a design, and that's what I got. And it's a beautiful coin, you know, Jesus Christ, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Okay, holding the gospel. That's the gold coin. That would be the silver coin. And I wonder if there are minters out there. You know, I've seen, since I've been looking those silver coins, they have Mickey Mouse coin. They have Pokemon silver coin. So I wonder if it's some minters that would mint something like this. So beautiful, you know, 99.9949% silver based on these ancient coins. That would be nice. I really wish, you know. So this is what we get. This is a pastor in Brazil. He's an Adventist pastor, famous pastor, but he doesn't hide his allegiance. Look at his hand here, the hidden hand. And that's, he's promoting his book on, he was promoting his book on Instagram. And that's the picture he uploaded to his Instagram right here, promoting his book. So these are the people preaching the dispensationalism, you know. So you gotta, guys, you must really understand the amount of the deception. So I'm gonna play one more song here before we. Okay, this is the website. I'm gonna play here songs of truth. Very nice. I hope I can have this person as a guest here talking about flat Earth and the little season. So I'm gonna play a song by this channel now. That's our second song for the day. We should be able to play another one today. I'm gonna get my reading glasses again. This one.
I sat in the pew last Sunday. The preacher was sweating, shouting about a tribulation coming our way, waiting for the temple to fall, waiting for the end. I just looked down at my Bible, Matthew 24. Jesus looked right at his disciples and said, "This generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled." He wasn't talking to us, he was talking to them. Year 70 AD, the stones came down, the fire fell, the judgment came. They kept us waiting for a train that already left the station. The preacher man sweats in his tailored suit, selling us fear from a bitter root, saying wait for the rapture, wait for the beast, while the serpent is dining right here at the feast. They read the good book, but they twisted the time. They buried the kingdom and covered the crime. The tribulation happened, the temple is dust, but they keep us in cages of future mistrust. Oh, the 1,000 years of peace have come and gone. We ain't waiting in the dark for the rising dawn. Read Revelation 20, it spells out the trees and the devil's out the pit for his little season. We ain't waiting on a savior to conquer the night. The king is on the throne and the victory is tied. Yeah, they stole the timeline to keep us afraid, but the remnant is walking right off of their stage. I walked down the street to the old courthouse square, looked at the granite that shouldn't be there. A building too grand for the horse and the cart, a relic of ether, a masterpiece of art. I brushed off the dirt from the cornerstone grave and looked at the letters where the old history lay. It said J760 and 4, not a 1 but a J for the king of the sword. They added 1,000 fake years to the line to blindfold the people and fracture the time. They called it the dark age, a primitive past, to hide that the kingdom was built here to last. Oh, the 1,000 years of peace have come and gone. We ain't waiting in the dark for the rising dawn. Read Revelation 20, it spells out the trees and the devil's out the pit for his little season. We ain't waiting on a savior to conquer the night. The king is on the throne and the victory is tied. Yeah, they stole the timeline to keep us afraid, but the remnant is walking right off of their stage. The 1,000 years are expired. Satan is loosed from his prison. He's deceiving the nations, but he can't touch the ground. Check the cornerstone.
Beautiful, beautiful song. I placed the link for the channel. If you can, say hello, subscribe, say that Eddie sent you there. And I hope to have a talk, to the person that channel here. Invited her or him, I don't know. Beautiful song, yes. Love how this truth about the little Caesar spreading. People are waking up, we are not. You could like the song. She sent me the link, actually. So, nice beat. This whole heliocentric model, and that's also in the chat, people are talking about the Catholic Church. There is a difference between the Catholic Church and the Catholics. The people, we are the sheeple, We are being deceived by the leaders. The same thing with the Protestant Church. They are pushing, you saw the 2 million, many hymn, all the 2 million subscribers, and all those John Hagee and all those guys, they're deceiving. The pastor, I just showed the picture of him holding the hidden, making the hidden hand sign. It's not the people, it's the leaders. They are the false leaders leading the people to perdition, right? So I have a passion for all my friends Catholic because I come from a Catholic country. My family is mostly Catholic, and but I have students here who are Catholic, and we talk about it. I say, listen, I respect you and I love you in Christ, but your leaders, your Pope, and you see the Pope with the purple eye, the purple eye. I mean, the leaders, that's the problem. They are the false leaders. They are the one leading the people to, they work for Satan. That's what they are. They are minions for Satan. And I really don't, I'm not talking about the people, talking about the leadership. They are gatekeepers. They're like David Wise, like all these people. They're just gatekeepers. And they are leading people to make mistakes, right? So that's the video that I really wanted to share with you. I was not able to find it. I think it's Jonathan Kahn. Jonathan Kahn. It's a rabbi. He's always, see if I find his picture. But if you watch the 2-hour long video about his name, Jonathan Kahn, rabbi, I think is, yeah, Jonathan Kahn. This guy here. So let me share the image here. Yeah, he's saying, oh, his name is Yeshua, blah blah blah. His name, he's another one here. Is the same pose as what's his name? I keep forgetting the name of these people. Dave G. Wilcock. Okay, same name. Where is it? Same pose. It's not this video. Oh, bunch. Yeah, same pose as Dave G. Wilcock, right there. Okay, same posing. And then you see Jonathan Kahn right there. Okay. Here again, right? Always this Masonic posing. And he's the one preaching like, oh, you need to call him Yeshua. Don't call him Jesus, call him Yeshua. He's a Kabbalistic, Kabbalah guy. So, you must be careful, brothers and sisters, when people are pushing, no, don't say his name is Jesus. No, his name is Jesus Christ. That's the new name it says in Revelation. I'll show my new name. That's his new name, Jesus Christ. All right, I want to see what else. Oh, yeah, there's one more website I want to share with you. Very interesting website. It's about Flat Earth. So I'll place the link. So this is a website some people are pulling together. You can play. I haven't played with this, but there's a menu here. You go like, you go the daytime, nighttime, stars, the sun, and the moon. It's an interactive and has like how the stars rise, how the stars set. That's how we see it, for example, here in South America. How we see the stars rise and due to the field of view. So it's a very interesting website. It's a long link, but I'll share if you guys this one. Okay, if you want to access Flat Earth website. Okay, I'll share to you these 3 websites, and so that's what I thought about it. When I feel I wanted to talk about all this, the disclosure, because everything that leading those scientists being supposedly, unalived, but they might even just be actors, and they are moving to another facility, just another country, getting new names, new passport. We don't know, right? Because if the media is pushing this narrative, it must not be true, because the media spreads lies, and they are spreading this a lot. Every channel on TV, even the press secretary was talking about this stuff. So if they are pushing, perhaps it's because it's not true. Perhaps not 11, 15 scientists are unalived. Perhaps they changed their identity. They are living in another country or so. So the narrative they're pushing is to make it, people talk about this disclosure, which is coming sometime soon. I don't know. They keep postponing. 3i Atlas back and same videos saying, oh, this object is changed course now, is going in another direction. It must be a giant spaceship the size of Manhattan. And we that now believe we are in Satan's little season, it may as well be the New Jerusalem. They are tracking it above, where it's going to come down. And when it comes down, nations will rely with each other. All the differences will be put aside, and they will unite against the Lord and attack the city, the camp of the saints. And I think that's where we are heading. That's my conception. That's my idea, that we are going in that direction. I want to play one more song before we come back for the closing. Let's talk about this song here. It's pretty funny. Sorry, guys. Satan's Little Season. Not this one. The 3. I want to talk one about the Artemis. I'll play this one here.
Yeah. It's dedicated to the truth seekers. The ones living below the firmament knowing the deal. It's all good, baby, baby. Check. Yeah. It was all a dream, I used to read NASA tales. Apollo and Artemis, Hollywood veils. Posters on my wall every Saturday night. Watching them stage the moon landing in plain sight. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Smoking herb in the basement watching CGI flop. Way back when I had the red and black lumberjack, singing through the fraud like a laundry rack. Biggie,
Biggie, Biggie, Biggie, can't you see? This Artemis mission trickery. The casting is spelled from a hollow throne. All the masses just follow the tone.
Yeah, NASA's a cartel, Artemis is the hype. Selling CGI dreams at $1 trillion price. No boots on the soil, just fighters in the room. Another Hollywood reboot, a high budget tune.
They're guarding the dome while they pickpocket the port. NASA's just a theater and we're kicking down the door.
Nixon had a landline straight to the moon, but Artemis buffering, man, it's all a cartoon. The cool mocking openly, farcical and free. Sex, magic, and parson, seeking out the glee. Luciferian doctrine spells casting a hex. Mach 39 entry, check the numbers next. 6 million on the path, witch doctor math. I see through the blimps in the inflatable path.
Check the wires, wake up.
Check the flicker,
wake up.
The screen is a cage and the tension is thicker. The tether to the rafters, puppets on a string. 0G theater of a Hollywood wing.
The horizon is flat, the water is level. It's a vault, it's a dome, and we're fighting that devil. Wake up, wake up, hey, wake up.
NASA's a cartel, Artemis is the hype. Selling CGI dreams at $1 trillion price. No boots on the soil, just fires in the room. Another Hollywood regroup, a high budget tune.
They're guarding the dome while they pickpocket the car. NASA's just a theater and we're kicking down the door.
Yeah, check the trajectory, what's with the imagery? Every rocket launch looking like male anatomy. Giant wieners in the sky, reaching for the blue. Austin Powers told us back in '97 it's true. Blue, orange, and virgin, they all look the same. Just a bunch of rich boys play a tip with the frame. Curvy flight paths rocking like a,
oh, you know.
They ain't going straight up, they just putting on a show. NASA's a cartel, Artemis is the heist. Selling CGI dream, got $1 trillion price. New boots on the soil, just fighters in the room. Another Hollywood reboot, a high budget tune.
They're guarding the dome while they pickpocket the port. NASA's just a theater and we're kicking down the door.
Yeah, NASA MAFIA. We see you, buyers and deceivers, central casting actors and shills. Stan Kubrick on the track, directing the hits. Hey, go, we out.
Hi, shout out to Stephen McKinney from Ireland. You know, he provided that great song. So, yeah, there are nice songs that we've been getting lately about, you know, the little season. I want to share with you just one more image. So I was talking about the silver coin and the gold coin. And, you know, I don't have any silver coins, but these are a couple of them that I designed, you know, on ChatGPT that I wish we could find out there. This is the flat earth coin, the front, you know, and the back with the Mount Meru. That would look nice. So for you guys who mint coins, you know, have the capability of minting coins, silver coins, talking about like 99.99% silver. They have like Pokemon silver coins. They have Mickey Mouse silver coins. They have Oreo silver coins, you know. So let's see if we can, you know, if you like the idea, mint one. You know, I'll try to at least purchase one of them. But this is one that I really would love to have. Jesus Christ, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, silver coin, 1 ounce. That's beautiful. So this is the idea. I, you know, just asked ChatGPT to design a modern coin based on the ancient Jesus Christ coin from the Byzantine Empire. That's what we got, 99% one fine gold and fine silver. I cannot afford the gold, but at least one of the silver I might try to buy. You know? $75 to $80 an ounce right now, and a flat earth coin. So just ideas for you guys who can mint coins out there. And if you are flat earthers, especially if you now understand that we are in Satan's little season. So guys, the goal of the show, you know, I think a lot. I want to bring something, talk about flat earth, because I try to find stuff online and we don't find real legit shows, you know. They push more lands, you know, no God, no Bible, no. The shows out there, some of them are, you cannot even, you see David Wise everywhere, you know. I mean, with his silly globe, now he is wearing a globe t-shirt now, you know. So I try to bring at least once a week. I wish I could be more times a week, but I can't. Physically, sometimes it's demanding. You know, I speak on with a different language here other than my mother tongue. And because I've been speaking English for so long, I speak English at home. My two daughters, they were born in the US, so we speak English here. And when I switch back to my mother tongue, Portuguese, sometimes I don't speak it well either. Last time I visited Brazil, they were saying, "What language are you speaking?" Because it's not Portuguese. No, it was Portuguese, but it's heavily accented because I've been speaking English for 40 years, you know? So when I go to Brazil and I try to speak Portuguese, people think I'm a foreigner. They say, "Oh, you don't sound a fluent Portuguese speaker." You know, so you end up like messing up all languages. You know, just like my daughters. My daughters are fluent in Japanese and English. So they mix a lot, you know, they mix language a lot. But I try to bring a show every week here that we talk about flat earth, the biblical flat earth cosmology, you know, and we try to expose the deception. And the deception is everywhere. And I learned a lot in the last 10 years. I start learning about the truth, you know, waking up in 2011, 2012 to be more precise, because until 2011 I was brainwashed with 9/11. I believe the the official narrative and everything. It was 2012, and I have to say, it was watching the Jesse Ventura show on True TV about conspiracy theories. Was watching that show that really made me wake up to many, many things, you know. And and then from there, just growing and growing, studying the Bible. And 2015 was the first time I heard about flat Earth, because I had this biblical flat Earth channel on YouTube I used to watch a lot. And then when the person started talking about flat Earth, I was like, flat Earth? You know, I was laughing, but I said, well, I will listen to this. And I ended up doing so on Christmas Day, 2015. That's the first time I really sat down and watched it. That time was Math Powerland, NASA, WikiLeaks show, then investigating more, and then, you know, led me to where I am today. So, and I try to bring this Flat Earth and Now Little Season show every week, because the deception runs deep. And this whole dispensationalism, everything in the 1800s that came out, all the isms, you know, communism, socialism, you know, feminism, dispensationalism, everything that came around 1800s, 1900s, all lies. All right, so I think that's all for today. Gonna go ahead and close the show. Let me just check the timing. I don't want to close the show like when it's, yeah, we're past our time. So I appreciate guys for being here today. Thank you all so much. I'm sorry I extended a little bit longer than normal. I like to finish around 125. It's 137 right now. But anyway, if I see that the show ended at anything 33, I will go ahead and shave some part of the show, because I don't like it when it ends at 33. Sometimes coincidentally it does, you know. I don't know. So let's go ahead and end the show. So take care, guys. I'll see you next week, okay? Bye-bye.
Wonderful, magical, celestial light, fantastical, mystical, wonderful sight. Belgian Swiss physicist Auguste Piccard, 1931, first to reach for the stars, was the first to explore the air view stratosphereus, a scientist curious to see what was there. An aluminium black ball gun, a helium balloon, hydrogen with photos and instruments, sailed towards the moon, rose in just half an hour, 52,000 feet, 10 miles of depth temperature, up a dead drop in heat and cold, but disproving gravity. Wonderful, mystical, beautiful sight, flat line separation of black from blue light, a world run by deceivers, false make-believers, hiding in shadows, stealing our light. testimony. What did they report back to humanity? Said it seemed like a flat disk far as eyes can see, with an upturned edge fading into infinity. A mystical, ethereal, celestial sight, a divine creation, a clockwork of life, designed hid by deceivers and false make-believers, still cowering in shadows, still fearing our light. Here we go, higher than Everest, higher than airplanes, above zero fuels, higher than air. A level horizon, 360 around us, slow motion beneath us, no spinning, no fair. Stars on the firmament, turning all around us, to forever show time past geometrically there. You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, forever beneath us, we see through you like air. Mystics on the luminous light, fantastical, magical, bright. We see through you like air. Magical angels of light, beautiful, wonderful, celestial light. The first to see truth when they reach for the stars, explorers and physicists, Kipper and Picard. Never you'll defeat us, forever beneath us, we see through you like air.